Yay! Amelia!
Yay!
Inside the dome against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, where that man right there lies in wait. Brent Key. The Yellow Jackets are ranked 23rd in the country, and they're looking to start a season 3-0 for the first time since 2016. Mark Kurtzler, Chris Cotter with you. So glad you could join us today. Yeah, I know it's only week 2, right? But if there was ever a pivotal game in week 2 of a season, this would be it between these two teams.
Yeah, especially with the ACC right now. I think fans are trying to figure out who are the good teams, with Florida State losing 2 and then Georgia Tech being the one to knock them off. The way that Kyle McCord looked in this Syracuse offense, like both these teams are in the contention to be a top team in the ACC right now.
And the reason why Syracuse, or one of the reasons why they feel like they are in contention, is the transfer from Ohio State.
Yeah, and he had such success at Ohio State, transfers in, won 12 games there, and he picked up right where he left off. He was dropping dimes all over the field to Trevor Pena, to Zede Haynes, Rondé Gatson, his big tight end over the middle, had over 100 yards receiving. And so Kyle McCord, if he can play that way today against this ACC defensive backfield of Georgia Tech, watch out, ACC. Kyle McCord is here.
Yeah, and he's got some weapons at his disposal. With Quint Allen, one of the best pass-catching running backs in the country. Rondé Gatson is an All-American type tight end, and Trevor Pena had 3 total touchdowns last week. For Georgia Tech, Brent Key, their head coach, he was a great offensive lineman at Georgia Tech a few years back. And in the 2 years he's been head coach at Tech, this team has really taken on his playing personality, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. And he's this tough guy. He's hard-nosed, a little bit, rough around the edges. And I think his team has decided, look, we are going to be the same way. They have 16 coaches on their team that are either former offensive or defensive linemen. So there's an emphasis put on that. Look at this push that the offensive line gets on Florida State. Jamal Haynes is able to see the lane, pick up a big gain. But it's not just on that side of the ball. Look at the defense. Romello Height, the transfer from USC, understands the play recognition, getting TFLs on the defensive side. So when the Yellow Jackets can get TFLs on defense and they can protect their Haynes King quarterback, get the run game going, that's when they're dominant.
Yeah, there's Haynes King. He makes it all happen behind that dominant offensive line. And for more on him, let's send it down to Coley Harvey on the field.
Chris, Georgia Tech quarterback Haynes King's legs are one part of his game. In fact, head coach Brent Key telling us this week he's one of the fastest players on this team. When I caught up with Haynes earlier this week, he said that one of the things he likes the most about offensive coordinator Buster Faulkner's system is the fact that he, quote, puts the ball in explosive people's hands. Haynes knows that he's one of those explosive people, and he told me this week his focus in this game is to create positive yards every time they get a first down. That's something that didn't happen often enough for him last week against Georgia State.
Yeah, thanks, Cole. Haynes King is not going to confuse anybody with Jamel Holloway or some of the great option quarterbacks of all time in terms of the way he runs. Somewhat gangly, but extremely effective.
No, he is, and he uses it as a threat, not just when he does run the ball, but when they hand off. They use a lot of this counter OY, counter with pullers type action, and so much of that is the threat of Haynes King pulling it out and running. They basically run a triple option type offense out of this spread set, and Haynes' ability to run is why it works.
Georgia Tech won the toss. They defer to the second half, so Aiden Burr will kick off. And Malachi James, freshman with world-class speed, stands by with his heels on his own goal line for Syracuse. Great crowd here inside the JMA Wireless Dome. Toe meets leather, and we're underway. And James will just let it sail over his head for a touchback. We talked about Kyle McCord in the open. 354 yards, 4 touchdowns last week, a fantastic debut.
It was, and it was kind of interesting, right? His first 2 passes could have been interceptions, actually. And we talked to Fran Brown about kind of that moment of the game. Fran said, hey, look, we brought this guy in expecting to be Superman right away. And in those first 2 passes, Fran even admitted, he was like, oh, uh-oh. Well, Kyle McCord settled in. I mean, he just was lights out after that. And so this is a pass-first type offense. We've been used to seeing a run-first type offense from Syracuse lately, but they love putting the ball in the air, but they have a dangerous back in Quint Allen who can do the dirty work on the ground, too.
Allen is the lone setback, and how about this? McCord under center and hands it off to Allen. Gets a good push on the left side, picks up about 6 on first down.
Well, we spent the open talking about the toughness of Georgia Tech? Well, I guarantee you that Fran Brown and this coaching staff said, okay, how do we show everybody that we are tougher than they saw us be last week? Open the game off with an under center run, power to the left. That's how you do it.
Clayton Powell-Lee was injured on the play for Georgia Tech. So their strong safety, junior out of Atlanta. Looks like the staff is working on that right hand, right arm. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back after this. First play from scrimmage, Georgia Tech loses Clayton Powell-Lee, at least for one play. Mark, what happened here?
Well, he just came in and, he's favoring this right arm after this hit. There's a couple speculative things you can do, but, he was flexing that right hand, seeing if he had full movement. Came to the sideline, took his helmet off, so I'm sure they'll check for that strength of that right arm, right shoulder.
Powell-Lee coming off a big game last week against Georgia State with 7 tackles. 2 running backs in the game now for Syracuse. They'll get it out. Will Nixon's got a lot of room to run. Inside Georgia Tech territory. Omar Daniels finally forced him out of bounds, but not before Nixon, the transfer from Washington, picks up a first down for the Orange.
Well, here he goes. He flares out to the side, and it was linebacker Kyle Eford, number 44, who lost his eyes. He did not keep eyes on his man, and wide open Will Nixon down the sideline.
McCord to play fake again. Out to Hatcher. Lot of room. Gets beyond the sticks. Amari Harvey pushes him out of bounds. Another first down for the Cuse.
Yeah, and Amari Harvey was giving a lot of space to Amari Hatcher. Amari Hatcher is known for his over-the-top big speed ability, and so protecting against the deep ball just gave up the quick comeback.
Tech making substitutions on the defensive line. We'll see 2 and sometimes even 3 deep in that area for the Yellow Jackets. Kevin Harris quickly checking out. Good news for Georgia Tech is that Clayton Powell-Lee checked back in. Going down the sidelines. Back shoulder pass. That one's going to be out of bounds, though. Harvey again in coverage. This time it was Zeed Haynes, the transfer from Georgia, made the catch but couldn't get a foot in.
Well, we saw Zeed Haynes make a spectacular catch last week. This one, ooh,
Right foot's close.
And I don't know about that.
Hang on to the ball through the catch too, Mark.
I know, and that left foot might have hit out of bounds before the right foot came down. I do think that's an incomplete pass, but almost another spectacular catch from Zeed Haynes.
Second down and 10 for McCord. That's LaQuinn Allen in motion. Looks near side, incomplete. That pass was right on the money, but Haynes couldn't bring it in.
And this is a big third down for Georgia Tech's defense. The past 2 weeks at Florida State and then last week versus Georgia State, they allowed the offense to march all the way down the field on opening drives. And that was one of the things that Brent Key and Tyler Santucci harped on. We've got to stop them on the opening drive. This is their opportunity with 3rd and 10.
McCord to throw. Tech brings pressure. LaQuinn Allen has a lot of room to run and a blocker in front, inside the 20, inside the 10. 29 yards on 3rd and 10. Syracuse converts. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 11.
What a fantastic play. Watch Kyle McCord's eyes. Bring the defenders all that way. He brings it back to the other way with the screen. The safeties, the linebackers, they're all pushed over, and a great job by the offensive line getting up to the next level. Big play.
So they'll spot it on the 11. Syracuse can't pick up a first down without scoring. Pena in motion. They'll go his way toward the goal line. Reaches over, touchdown.
Well, Trevor Pena had 2 touchdowns a week ago. And if this one stands, which I think it will, he'll have had his 3rd since coming back from injury last year. What a start to the season for Trevor Pena and Kyle McCord.
Brady Denneberg for the PAT. As you see McCord assaulting his offensive teammates after that opening drive. Denneberg splits the uprights. 75 yards, 7 plays, just 2:39 off the clock. Very impressive drive for the Orange to start this game here inside the Dome.
Let's take a look at this. Trevor Pena is going to motion all the way across the field and just run a little route here. They're going to run a switch route, and Amari Harvey, who's running across in motion with Trevor Pena, has to communicate with the corner. There's no communication, and Trevor Pena has a lot of space and finds an end zone. That's just poor communication by the defensive backs for Georgia Tech. And that's Warren Burrell and Amari Harvey, 2 of the starting corners. They have to be better on that, or Syracuse is going to come back to that well over and over again in those switch routes.
Ran the ball with McCord under center the first play of that drive, Mark, and then passes the rest of the way down the field.
Yeah, we talked with Tyler Santucci, and he said, hey, we expect to see a pro-style offense. Under center runs, passes downfield off play action. That's what we got.
Denneberg's kick sails to the back of the end zone. So Georgia Tech's offense now down 7-0. Let's see what they can do. Haynes King at the helm.
Yeah, Haynes King, true dual threat quarterback. You mentioned he's not the scat Kyler Murray type guy. He's a bigger guy, more of like a Vince Young, the Syracuse coaching staff compared him to, but he has an electric arm and can find his wide receivers. His biggest thing, let me get the ball in playmakers' hands, and he has those playmakers on the outside.
Syracuse crowd getting into it. The give to Jamal Haynes. He can't get back to the line of scrimmage.
What a play by Fadil Diggs, number 10, the transfer from Texas A&M. Watch him enter the picture right here. He times up the snap and absolutely blows past the guard and creates havoc in the backfield. Syracuse is trying to set the tone early.
2nd down and 11. Rutherford in motion. King fakes it to Jamal Haynes. Now he looked like he was going to run. And is it a pass or is it a deflect? It's hard to say what that was. Looked like it was a pass, but then it might have been behind him as a pitch. There is a flag down at the line of scrimmage. We have to get a clarification from the officials. Was Haynes King beyond the line of scrimmage, and was it forward?
Yeah, I know one thing. This Syracuse fan base is getting loud in the Dome right now.
After further discussion, there is no foul on the play. It's an incomplete pass. The 3rd down.
So he was behind the line of scrimmage, threw it forward, and it was incomplete.
And they do a good job of really putting number 8, Justin Barron, in a bind. He doesn't know whether to take Haynes King or the running back. They had something there. Now it brings up 3rd down and long. And Haynes King is going to look to air it out to one of his top receivers.
King to throw. No pressure. Has plenty of time. And has a receiver over the middle. That's going to be a 1st down and more. Looks like the big tight end, Avery Boyd, on the completion. He's having a bigger and bigger role in this offense. And just like Syracuse on their drive, Georgia Tech converts a big 3rd and long, 19 yards.
Wow. And Avery Boyd drags across the screen. You see him coming from left to right. Watch the blocking from the wide receivers. Everybody found a man. I mean, I think that was a called tight end screen.
Haynes gets about 3, flag down on the play.
Offside. Defense, number 88, lining up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
The freshman Murad Watson guilty of the infraction. Our referee today, Mike Roach, tells us that Georgia Tech will get 5 free yards. It'll be 1st and 5.
And a lot of people talk about the scheme of Georgia Tech's offense. They talk about the offensive linemen. They talk about Jamal Haynes at running back, but really the difference so far this year has been the blocking by the wide receivers and tight ends on the perimeter. That opens up plays just like you saw there that picked up the first down.
Give to Haynes. Trying to dance his way through and maybe gets a yard. Watson, who's guilty of the offsides just a play earlier, makes the stop in the middle. Well, last week Ohio was playing this Syracuse team on this very field, and they ran all over the orange. So that was something that we were going to have to watch this week as to how much that man and his defensive coaching staff made the adjustments, and they played pretty well so far today against the run. Again, the handoff to Haynes. Shy of the first down, it'll bring up 3rd and 1. Derek McDonald from that linebacker spot making the tackle. Keep an eye on these Syracuse linebackers without Marlowe Wax, who was injured last week. It'll be McDonald, James Hurd, and Anwar Sparrow rotating in. There you see the numbers last week against Ohio, a team out of the MAC, averaging 6.5 yards a touch. The give to Haynes. He'll pick up the first down, squirts through for about 4.
That was just a straight power play, double team on the 3 technique, and Haynes just followed the big boys, picked up the yard.
Jamal Haynes sidesteps a defender in the backfield, but just barely gets to the line of scrimmage. Deuce Chestnut coming up from his safety spot, making the tackle.
And last week for Syracuse, you saw all those yards given up. It wasn't as much about the wrong assignments. It was that they didn't make tackles. They need to make tackles the first time out.
King to throw. Looking deep downfield. Dangerous pass in traffic, but it makes it work as Chase Lane makes the catch. 15 yards. That was a tight window. But Tech wants to go quick.
Yeah, it sure was a tight window. Good job adjusting to the football. Tech hurries to the line of scrimmage again.
Rutherford on the outside. Brought down at about the 20. That's going to be a 9-yard gain. Tech has found something with this tempo right now, and they're going to want to keep going with it.
And every time they convert one of these 3rd downs, it is like a shot in the gut to the Syracuse defense. You know, you get them in 3rd and 12, they convert. You get them in 3rd and 2, they convert. They just continue this drive, and this defense is looking tired.
King to run it. Read perfectly by Syracuse, but he gets through and he'll score.
How about that athleticism from Haynes King? And we talked about tackling for Syracuse. You get there. Derek McDonald is 5 yards in the backfield with a one-on-one shot with the quarterback. You have got to make that tackle. It's a missed tackle. That's your gap. Now, other guys have to get to the ball as well, but you make that tackle, you stop him, it's another 3rd down chance for your defense. You miss the tackle, Haynes King can score.
Plays under review, as every play is in college football. They want to make sure Haynes King's knee wasn't down on that initial tackle attempt by McDonald. Being explained to Brent Key. Let's take a look at it, see if we can see anything. The right knee is what you're going to look at here. I certainly don't think, Mark, there's enough there to overturn it. I can't say for sure that that knee touched the turf.
No, he was a good hand's width above the turf.
That view, it looks a little closer.
Yeah.
But there's nothing definitive, I don't think. Let's take a look at this one. This is the 3rd view we'll have, and the replay official has this same view. I don't see enough there.
No, I don't see enough, and I think it's a scoring play, so they're going to review it. But this to me should be reviewed a little quicker.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands, and it's a touchdown.
And it stands.
Haynes, you see him, he's like, yeah, obviously it stands. I didn't touch the ground, but that was such an athletic play. You know, and that's the difference type of maker Haynes King can be. takes a broken play and turns it into 6 points.
What an interesting start we've had to this one. 2 75-yard drives for each team. Georgia Tech taking a little bit more time off the clock. As Aiden Burr hits the PAT. We're all knotted up at 7. Let's take another look at that touchdown, Mark.
Man, it is so close. Derek McDonald almost makes the play, but Haynes King does his little shimmy and races off for 6.
We're just underway and all knotted up here in the Dome. All knotted up at 7 apiece, Mark. Good drive by Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and they converted on this big 3rd down with great blocking by the wide receivers. And then Chase Lane makes a fantastic back shoulder catch. And really, it was the pace that Georgia Tech played with offensively. It never felt like Syracuse had their feet in the ground ready to play. And it's those types of imbalances that Georgia Tech wants to create offensively. Whether it's, hey, your feet aren't in the ground because you're not ready to go because we're going fast, or whether it's because we're going to use counters and motions and a lot of pre-snap eye candy to get you out of your space.
Tech converted 2 3rd downs on that drive, one of them a 3rd and 11 from their own territory. Burr's got a big leg. He'll boot it off. And Malachi James will just watch it sail over his head. Tech was a little bit more balanced than Syracuse on their scoring drive. You think that's something we'll see continue with Syracuse through the air?
You know, I really kind of get the feeling from Jeff Nixon. Like, he's a former running backs coach, but he also knows that he has Kyle McCord at quarterback. So I think kind of the lean is to, let's throw the ball. Let's get our wide receivers in the game. So I think it will be a little bit more imbalanced in terms of more pass on Syracuse's side, but obviously they're lining up again under center in that bunch set. This is a run formation.
Give to Nixon. Picks up a couple. Romello Height, the transfer from USC, on the tackle.
This type of offense, we kind of forget because we're of an age where we're used to seeing the quarterback under center, right? And you're kind of used to, oh, this is just old school college football. But defenses, they don't see this very often. So this is kind of how a lot of coaches are saying, hey, defenses have been built for spread. Let's get back to more power football. That's what Syracuse is doing on their run game right now.
High snap. McCord is able to bring it down. Nixon, again, only picks up maybe a yard, if that. 3rd and long for the Orange.
Rondé Gadsden comes in the game.
It's 19 in blue.
Yeah, him and Dan Villari, 2 tight ends in the game right now. Against Zeed Haynes, the top of your screen, the speedster transfer from Georgia. And Trevor Pena towards the bottom.
Watch 1 in blue out of the backfield with Quint Allen. Oh, it was a block. You hear that crunch from here. Picked up the 1st down, got it out to Zeed Haynes.
The timing of this throw and this route are impeccable, and it's not bad coverage by Georgia Tech, but Kyle McCord, he releases this football well before Zeed Haynes has come out of his break. And good job of tiptoeing on the sidelines and securing the football by Zeed Haynes. Great pickup.
A little confusion with Georgia Tech up front in terms of their substitutions. Late getting set as well, which means that Quinn Allen has all kinds of room to run on the right side. Just stepping out of bounds inside Georgia Tech territory. Got a flag down at about the 45-yard line. So let's check the marker. It's clearly a 1st down for Syracuse if it stands.
Holding offense number 2, 10-yard penalty, stays 1st down.
It'll be a hold on Pena, which will bring it back, but it's a spot foul, so let's see where they mark it. Looks like it's going to be the 45-yard line of Syracuse 44. Check the hold.
Yeah, you see the hands getting around the back of the shoulder pad.
That's clearly a hold on Pena on the outside.
That time it was Georgia Tech's defense. They weren't set or ready for that at all. I mean, they had a massive play set up to the Quinn Allen. And just, penalties Penalties hurt. Fran Brown pleading his case.
It'll remain first down, but because of the spot infraction, it's 1st and 5. Forward to throw. Gadsden makes the catch, falls forward at the marker, picks up the first down.
We got to a certain point in the game last week where it was a go-to Oronde Gadsden show, and I don't think it's turned into that yet. But when you get close to the 2-minute drive, I mean, they're gonna feed him in crunch time. That was a good little pickup to get momentum and confidence back on their side.
Right at midfield, McCord will operate here, hands it off to Nixon, avoids one tackle, lowers his shoulder, give him 8 yards on first down. Tay Seymour had to come up from his free safety spot to make the tackle, but a great pickup on first.
Yeah, another missed tackle here. Kyle Eford has the running back in the hole. And one of the things that both these defensive coordinators talked about was just they need to see the improvement this week in tackling. And really neither side has done a good job so far.
Allen, met at the line of scrimmage, spun down. Wasn't even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Zachary Toby made the tackle.
Both these teams are using pace. Oh, I think they stopped him.
Yeah, I think it was stopped. He didn't get to the 40. That's where he needed to get to.
What a play getting into the backfield.
Jackson Hamilton on the stop. 4th and 1, they're going to go for it. Both teams substituted, so the official holding McCord up. Now he's under center. The option play, LaQuinn Allen easily gets it. Down inside the 30.
Well, it's a great play design, and you go for the QB sneak. Now they align like it, but look, there's just no one accountable for the pitch man. Hamilton made a great play on the last one, but he got put in a bind. He had to take the quarterback or the pitch. Good play design and self-scout by Syracuse offense.
Again to give to Allen. Hamilton making another tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Feast or famine right now for Hamilton.
Yeah, he's a good big safety. Does a great job of coming downhill and filling off the edge. This defense, they have given up yards towards the middle of the field, but it's been in the red zone where they've gotten some really good stops on 4-down turnovers and then just forcing turnovers themselves.
2nd down and 10, the 11th play of this drive. McCord to throw. As a receiver open, again he hits Haynes. Short gain though, just about 3, so it's 3rd down and 7. Both these teams have been efficient the early going in this first quarter on 3rd down.
Last 3rd down, Tyler Santucci, defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, decided he was going to bring heat. Had all the linebackers walked up in the line of scrimmage, and they came. Now they're looking like they're playing off a little bit in more of a zone defense. Watch the creeper off the top edge.
Ford going through his progression. Underneath, tight hit Valari. Just couldn't connect. And it'll bring up 4th down.
There's Hamilton in coverage again. That's what they did. They dropped back in a zone coverage, kind of cover 3, and did a great job of passing off the underneath receivers. Dan Valari, who did so much for the Syracuse offense last year, playing quarterback and running back and tight end, was then able to come down with that one.
43-yard attempt for Brady Denneberg. Georgia Tech special teams comes in and makes a play. That looked like,
I think it was Zeke Biggers, number 88.
Yeah, it looked like Biggers in there. Look at the vertical for Biggers, who checks in listed at 320. He might be 320. Got off his feet on that play, put a big bid on the ball. It's still 7-7 here in the Dome, much to the delight of that man. Georgia Tech takes over following the block field goal. That's Marlowe Wax, number 2, without the shoulder pads. You can see him with the cart. Hurt that foot or that leg, lower body last week. So he's out today, this captain of the Syracuse defense. They're going to have to do it without him, but they've done pretty well so far today. Georgia Tech converting on a couple of third downs on that last drive to keep it alive, but they've done a decent job in containing that man, Jamal Haynes. He hadn't gone off.
No, he hasn't, and you know he hasn't needed to. They've got a bunch of chunk plays on the first drive and moved down the field pretty well.
Haynes has 7 yards on 7 carries. Clearly is the workhorse for Georgia Tech early. King to throw, gets it out to him in space. Got to the edge, but was still only able to pick up about 4. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Elijah Clark forced him out. Now the fans on their feet here inside the dome. 3rd and 5 for the Yellow Jackets. King to throw. Syracuse doesn't bring pressure. Underneath, incomplete. He's looking to get it to Chase Lane, but Cinco, Elijah Clark on the coverage.
Great job in zone coverage by Elijah Clark. He knows where his threats are going to come from. He has his eyes in the right place and does a great job picking up the crosser. Watch him here, right in the middle of your screen, up number 5. He's lurking down, reads the quarterback's eyes, knows where the threat's coming from, and gets that right paw on the football. That's a great play by Elijah Clark.
Brings in David Shanahan to kick it away. Pena calls for a fair catch on the 30. Syracuse takes over there. Coming up next, Charlotte, North Carolina from Kenan Stadium. That's a 3:30 kick, and then our nightcap, 8 o'clock from Death Valley. Appalachian State taking on Clemson for those games, and every live event with where to watch only on the ESPN app and ESPN.com. Go to that where to watch, and I'll tell you where to watch everything. So we'll get a chance to see McCord in this Syracuse offense that has marched down the field twice. That blocked field goal prevented them from putting points on the board on that last drive, but he's 8 of 11, and he's hit 6 different receivers.
Well, he's spreading the football around. He's getting people involved, and I mean, he's playing really good football right now. Georgia Tech, they're going to have to get some pressure on him to try to force some errant throws. They have not brought a ton of pressure, at least not gotten home on much so far this game.
Jackson Meeks in motion. The fake to Allen. McCord downfield has a wide open receiver at midfield. That's Pena. Carries it into Georgia Tech territory. The Orange are in business again. 21 yards on the pitch and catch.
And the pocket. I mean, look at this pocket for Kyle McCord to throw through. I mean, there is nobody getting anywhere near him. And if you do not put pressure on Kyle McCord, he has an alive enough arm where he can make every single throw on the field. That was a 2-man route. Great job by Trevor Pena coming back to the football.
McCord rolls out. Now there's some pressure, but he has Valari open underneath. Makes the catch. Ball comes free. They're going to rule it incomplete. Well, Miles Brooks on coverage. Valari never had it.
On the field,
And a play like that to end what has been a wild first quarter so far, up and down the field. Take another look.
Man, Miles Brooks. You stay wider than the widest, my friend, and he did a great job of staying with his responsibility as Dan Valari almost had a big one.
After one, all tied up at 7 apiece between Georgia Tech and Syracuse. Starting the second quarter, both teams have had long, time-consuming drives through that first quarter, and Syracuse is on one here. 2nd down and 10 from midfield. Tech brings a little bit of pressure, but it's initially picked up. Now McCord's going to go down. Coley, what do you got for us?
Well, guys, I just spoke with Georgia Tech head coach Brent Key, and I asked him specifically about his quarterback, Haynes King, and his legs, his feet there in the first quarter. We saw that 21-yard touchdown run, and he credited the design runs that they've come up with. He also credited the way that Haynes scored on that broken play. But he did say, look, we've made a lot of mistakes, particularly on third down. On defense, we've got to clean that up, guys.
Well, here's a third down right here, 3rd and 15.
Showing pressure again. Got the linebackers up in the line of scrimmage.
They'll bring just 4. McCord looking downfield. Over the middle has Pena, and they connect. Perfectly placed pass down at the 23.
All right, when people talk about throwing your wide receiver open, this is exactly what they're talking about. Kyle McCord leads it out in front of Trevor Pena, where he can make that adjustment deep down the field for a huge pickup on third down again.
Longest completion of the day so far from McCord. Now Syracuse wants to move quickly. Gadsden dropped at the 17. What's going on, Coley?
You know, guys, I spoke with Syracuse receiver Trevor Pena earlier this week, and he said that he's got a chip on his shoulder this season. It's because he feels like he never really had a chance to prove himself at Syracuse in earlier years. He was down on the depth chart, had the injury last year. But he says he has, what Syracuse head coach Fran Brown calls a renewed purpose this year. And Pena told me that, hey, I'm just trying to show what all I can do. He had 3 touchdowns last week, has 1 today. Looks like he can do a lot.
Yeah, he's getting it done on the outside. Part of this group that just has a myriad of weapons at McCord's disposal. Play clock winding down to 3 seconds. They get it off. Underneath. I knew that hit was going to come, but Meeks hangs on. 1st and goal. Got an injury on the play. That's Georgia Tech player hurt. Miles Brooks. He delivered that hit, and he's still down on the turf. We'll take a quick break. Update you on Miles Brooks' condition when we come back. All tied at 7. Syracuse driving. Tech safety Miles Brooks was able to walk off under his own power inside the tent. How did this happen, Mark?
Well, you see him right there. He really makes a pretty good play on the ball, but on this connection, as he tackles, he just kind of lowers his shoulder. Not sure exactly what the issue is, but obviously a physical hit.
Marked the ball on the 11-yard line, so it's 1st and 10. We're changing the play. Quinn Allen out to his right. Forward to throw. Looking to the end zone. Over the top. Pena. He's got another one.
Wow, another great play by Trevor Pena. This was a little bit of a pick route that sprung him free, but it's continuing hitting those kind of deep shots in the front of the end zone to Trevor Pena. That's been a recipe for success for Kyle McCord.
Syracuse offense, they've gone over 200 yards from scrimmage in just a little over a quarter, and they retake the lead after a 7-play, 70-yard drive.
Yeah, and they just run a little pick route on the outside, and Trevor Pena comes from the inside, and he's just working out here. We have a go route, and then this is where the pick happens. And it's just another time where, pretty good job passing off, but the pick creates separation for Trevor Pena, and Kyle McCord, so accurate with the football, finds him for 6.
Pena, the redshirt junior from Ocean Township, New Jersey, battling injury and the depth chart in his years already here at Syracuse, but this year he has really emerged as Kyle McCord's go-to receiver through the first 2 games of the year. Christian Leary lets this one fly over his head. Georgia Tech now back on offense. Forced a punt last time out, and You get a feeling the way Syracuse is moving up and down the field on offense, Mark, Georgia Tech's going to have to put a lot of points on the board today.
I think both these teams are going to have to put a lot of points on the board. I mean, really, you mentioned it, both teams have done this. And it's really going to be who has the ball last or who makes a big stop. I think a turnover could be a huge difference in this game, either side of the football. And so it's going to be one of those games where one stop here could make a difference for the rest of the game.
King the play fake, wants to go downfield. Hits his receiver, that's Singleton. Now move the sticks. Singleton, a freshman All-American last year. Relatively quiet in terms of production through the first 2+ games this year, but has his first catch of the day.
Yeah, he's a guy that they knew they have to get back to. But that protection, this offensive line, I mean, there was no one, again, anywhere near Haynes King. He had so much time to get that football away.
All Haynes in motion. He'll get it underneath the Rutherford. Want to get the ball in this man's hands in space. And he picks up 7 yards. Sparrow on the stop from his linebacker spot for Syracuse. We got a lot of players like Rutherford, like Jamal Haynes at tailback, like Eric Singleton. They want to just get the ball in their hands in space and see what they can do with it.
And then they got some big guys. I mean, look at this set. They got 2 big blocking tight ends out here with Malik Rutherford. Now they're going to bring one back in.
Haynes looking for room to run, and there isn't any. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, maybe got a half a yard. And he worked hard for that. Barry Buxton from his free safety position making the tackle. Orange getting the crowd into it on 3rd down.
You said it. You need one stop. This could be a huge moment for this Syracuse Orange team.
Play fake to Jamal Haynes. Has a receiver open. That's Singleton. Oh, what a catch by Singletary. Couldn't hang on, though.
Oh, man.
He went up and got it, but when he made contact with the ground, it came out. Couldn't quite squeeze it. That would have been a heck of an effort. It was a heck of an effort. Would have been a great catch.
And Syracuse finally got pressure on Haynes King and made him throw the ball a little early off his back foot. Huge play for Syracuse.
Forcing Shanahan to punt. Gets off a high kick, but Pena is going to take it his own 10 and he stopped it immediately. Georgia Tech has not been able to stop Syracuse. Can they do it when we come back trailing by 7?
We have to intimidate people because we're going to play somebody that think they want to hit, that think they're aggressive enough to play us, and we're going to make them quit. And we're going to do it over and over and over again.
Are you going to compete?
Yes, sir.
Hey, we following you, fam. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to work. Let's get going. Let's throw it up top. Throw it up top here. Oh, my God. Good job. You all right? Get up. Run back.
Syracuse All Access. You can check it out on the ACC Network. Watch ESPN app. Look at him during the break here. He's coaching while he's talking to his coaches up in the booth, and he's still coaching on the field, Mark.
Yeah, he is. And, you know, he told us this week, he said, you know, some coaches always say, like, hey, once the hay's in the barn, once Saturday starts, then you go out and have fun. He goes, not me. Because I'm going to coach these guys the entire game from the moment the ball snapped till the final whistle.
McCord to throw. Gadsden shakes off a would-be tackler. Stiff arms another. Out at the 43. The big tight end can run. And it's 32 yards for the first down.
Well, we knew it was only a matter of time before big number 18 gets going. You see him coming from right to left on your screen and just works his way in back behind the linebacker. He is a dangerous guy when he gets going.
Syracuse out from the shadow of their own goal post. Now operating with a fresh set of downs. Nixon has room to run on the left side. He puts a stiff arm on a defender and picks up a good 5 yards on first down.
Yeah, and Arundel Gadsden, when you look at him, and you know, you saw kind of his speed towards the end of the run. He's not the fastest guy out there, and you know, he's pretty tall, but he's not like the strongest, biggest guy out there. He just does such a good job of finding the open window in the zones and then creating separation man to man.
Nixon, big hole up the middle, still turning. First down and a lot more. Kyle Eifert made the tackle, but not before Nixon picked up 10. Fake to Nixon. It's his receiver, 8 yards. Jackson Meeks. Harvey and Seymour combine on the tackle, but McCord is just putting the ball in the perfect spot seemingly every single attempt.
And he's reading the defense, right? That time Georgia Tech brought pressure off the boundary side. He stood up and he just threw right past the pressure. And it makes it look easy. I mean, that would just look like a right backyard pitch and catch from quarterback.
Nixon, that line of scrimmage, brought down. Like Jordan Vandenberg along with Sylvan Yanjuan on the tackle.
Yeah, Yanjuan does a great job. Watch him just slice down, trying to be blocked by a tight end, slice from the right to the left and disrupts the backfield. That's been a couple times where Georgia Tech has made these negative plays, and that sets up a third and a little bit longer.
Third down and 5. Syracuse 5 on third down. McCord. Pena makes the catch. Spins through a defensive player. Gets out of bounds. First down. Jackson Hamilton out in coverage, but Pena continues to build upon what is a great start to this game.
And you saw Fran Brown still coaching. But this ball is perfect. There's a corner that is squatted on the outside. If Kyle McCord leads Trevor Pena to the outside, it's incomplete or intercepted. He puts it back on his inside shoulder and gives Trevor Pena not only a chance to catch the football, but protects his body from getting that big hit.
Allen gets to the outside. Eifert again tracks him down, but he picks up 4 yards on first down. Offense just consuming yards and time off the clock. Already past the midway point of this second quarter. Nixon in motion. Give again to Allen. Gets the edge, lowers his shoulder. He's going to be close to the marker. I think he picked it up.
It's a really good job of the left side of the offensive line. Witherspoon and Bradford get a nice job on the end and tackle, and it's a clear lane for LaQuinn Allen to go outside. C57. Watch him work back up and then outruns the linebacker, the defensive end, Kevin Harris, to the sideline. LaQuinn Allen, I mean, right now we've seen a lot of Kyle McCord, but LaQuinn Allen is so capable as a runner. And once you get the rushing to match the passing, this could be an incredibly dangerous offense.
Third down and 2. And we're going to get a timeout on the field. Georgia Tech calls for a timeout. Didn't like the personnel they had on the field for this third down. And we'll take it with them. Syracuse facing a 3rd and 2 and driving when we come back up 7. 6:23 left in this first half. Syracuse facing a 3rd and 2 from the Georgia Tech 20. This is the 9th play of the drive that started on Syracuse's own 11-yard line. Look at what the numbers in terms of this offense that the Orange have been able to put up 14 first downs and almost 300 yards already. Empty backfield. LaQuinn Allen will be split to the top of your screen.
Rondé Gadsden on a linebacker in the middle of the field.
And they get Georgia Tech to jump. Free play, and it's a touchdown.
I mean, you'd see that from a mile away. You break the formation, and Rondé Gadsden is being covered one-on-one by Kyle Eifert. That is a touchdown all day. Georgia Tech doesn't adjust.
Denneberg with the PAT.
And this is what I'm talking about right here. This is Kyle Eford, right? He's a linebacker. We have everybody else. Yeah, this is who you are in your zone matchup. When this guy goes vertical, that's Kyle Eford's guy. You have got to have a safety help. There's no help on this play. And so when Kyle McCord sees the safety split, he says, whoa, you put cover 2 with Kyle Eford, number 44, run-stopping linebacker on the best tight end in the ACC. I know exactly where I'm going. Looks him off a tiny bit, in for 6.
60 up.
Fran Brown era beginning last weekend here against Ohio. We weren't sure what we were going to get, Mark, both offensively and defensively. I think when we had Kyle McCord penciled in at quarterback, you thought, okay, they've got a pocket passer, the likes of which they haven't had here in years. You saw it last week against Ohio, and we are seeing it big time here in his first ACC game in this first half.
I mean, you know, he's playing football, and he's out there with his timing, with his wide receiver. I think that's what impresses me the most. He is able to connect with his wide receivers on time like they've been playing together forever. I mean, not only did he transfer in and had to get to know Trevor Pena, but Zede Haynes and Jackson Meeks transferred in. But Fran Brown has got this offense clicking, and Kyle McCord feels comfortable with all his targets.
Can the Yellow Jackets answer? Play fake to Carey. King wants to go deep. And he's got his man, Singleton.
Oh my goodness. And Syracuse had 2 guys on Singleton, and Singleton comes from all the way on the other side of the field. And this is just a go-get-it ball. Outruns both defenders. What a way to respond.
Singleton, a 2-sport star at Georgia Tech, runs track in the spring, and you saw that right there on that route. Give to Carey, the freshman. Lowers his shoulder, picks up about 4.
I would love to see how many yards were covered by Eric Singleton while the ball was in the air. I mean, Haynes King must have led him by 30 yards. And he used that speed to come underneath that.
Again, Carey swallowed up by Diggs.
Man, football is so fun when one star player makes a huge play, then another star player backs it up on the other team making a big play. We talked about last third down being huge for Syracuse. This one for Georgia Tech is a gotta have.
3rd and a long 6. 0 for their last 2 third downs. King is going to keep it, get the first down and more. He's going to score his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Haynes King again on a 20-plus yard run for a touchdown. That was a misdirection. Got the defense flowing all to his right. He cut back to the left and does a great job of cutting this one back. Watch the action, the pulling guard, pulling tight end, and number 0, Deuce Chestnut, just overcommits, takes a bad angle, and Haynes King makes him pay.
Aiden Burry hits the PAT. Haynes King has 2 carries on the day for 48 yards, and both of them are touchdowns.
And it's just the backside, overcommitting. And Fran Brown, all coaches talk about it. Do your job. Have your eyes where they're supposed to be. I mean, that's like, I can't tell you how many defensive coordinators and people we talk to, and they all say that. All the players say it when you ask them what they need to do better. And that was a poor example of, first of all, where your eyes need to be, and then your angle on the football by Deuce Chestnut. That's not going to get it done, especially for a coach who has made a living coaching defensive backs.
You saw Coach Brown. He will have a lively dialogue with his assistants up in the booth all game long. On the flip side, quarterback coach Chris Wenke, sitting down with Haynes King, going over on the iPads plays on that last drive. But a huge answer for Georgia Tech. First sends it out of the back of the end zone. Coming up at 6:30 Eastern, Taylor Tenenbaum and the ACC Huddle crew are in Clemson. Going to catch you up on the afternoon games as well as get you ready for tonight's App State Clemson game. They'll kick off at 8 o'clock. Then after the game, a full post-game show to wrap up the night and really the week. A couple of ACC teams playing last night in SMU, falling to BYU, and Duke getting the double overtime win against Northwestern on that crazy field. Did you see any of that game last night? Northwestern playing in that temporary football field?
Yeah, I saw that one, and a lot of that was when I was in bed, but saw the SMU game and watched them use multiple quarterbacks, and that's a tough loss for them.
Right. Trying to get touchdowns instead of field goals. BYU was able to outlast SMU. Now what does McCord do here? Directing this offense. They've been unstoppable all game long. And Clayton Powell-Lee's able to come out and make the tackle on Nixon for a minimal gain. Got a flag back in the backfield. Waiting on Mike Roach to let us know what's going on.
Holding, offense number 57. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Demetrius Weatherspoon, the transfer out of Howard, guilty of the hold. Haven't had that many penalties today in this first half. Been a relatively clean half, but that's going to send the Orange back 10 yards.
Yeah, good to see number 5 Clayton Powell-Lee back out there on the field after he left in the first quarter, an injured shoulder, and you see the hold there on the left-hand side.
Orange now facing a first and 20 from their own 15. Orange sent Gadsden out far to the right. Over the middle. Hatcher on the catch. Down to the 45. Seymour in coverage, but that's 29 yards and another first down.
This is the same play. Instead of having it be Arondé Gadsden, it's Umari Hatcher who is working versus cover 2 against a linebacker. You're going to see him release right up the middle, and this is a linebacker that's going to try to have to run with him, and that is a mismatch, and they're going to have to change this up with a safety help over top, but Syracuse has got an answer for Georgia Tech's cover 2.
And again, a perfectly placed pass just over the outstretched hands of Trinilis Tatum. McCord, Hatcher, pitch and catch. Slung out of bounds after a 7-yard gain. Mari Harvey on the tackle.
Yeah, this is a true 3-step game, right? I know that I have cushion on the outside with my wide receiver. The wide receiver reads that cushion, breaks off the route, and Kyle McCord just turns out and makes the completion look easy.
5 drives on the day for Syracuse. All 5 of them have entered into Georgia Tech territory. Allen crashes into that defensive front. He'll pick up the first down.
A lot of people talk about, the run, drawing in the linebackers, and drawing in safeties, and be able to hit shots over top. Well, the 3-step game, what it does to a defense, it makes them start going east and west, and they're not as stout up front. So, some coordinators, like Jeff Nixon right now, he's using the 3-step game to set up the inside run, and he's having success with both.
And the Orange won't snap it before the 2-minute timeout.
Who just hit the game clock?
We're going to step aside. We'll be back with a special guest when we come back. Orange up 7 and driving here in the Dome. Football numbers that have been retired in the long and storied history of Syracuse football here at the Dome. They'll add another one at the half, and Coley's standing by with him right now.
Thanks, Chris. Now I'm with Dwight Freeney, the Pro Football Hall of Famer. Dwight, you have a busy weekend. You're going to be in Indy tomorrow. The Colts are honoring you. Your alma mater is honoring you right now. What's it going to be like when you see your number go up in the rafters here at halftime?
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be emotional, man. It is so crazy to know what's going on here in this environment and how this is so special. It's always been special to me. But those guys who came before me, they set the foundation for me. They were the reasons why I'm here. The Jim Browns and all those guys, Floyd Littles, Larry Zonka. So for my name to be up there, my jersey to be retired, speechless. I'm speechless.
Yeah. Now, your famous spin move is a big part of the reason why you're now in the Hall of Fame. What did you do here at Syracuse to perfect that move?
Well, you know what? I went out there and put the work in. I came out here and put the work in with the coaching staff. They allowed me to be me. All right, and that's key for a guy like me who's creative, wanting to go and do some different stuff. So we had coaches that allowed me to do it, and doing it by repetition, doing it over and over, from college to pro, is how I got to where I am today.
Speaking of college to pro, that's exactly what Fran Brown is trying to do, the head coach of your Syracuse Orange. What do you think of the job that Fran's doing so far?
I think he's great. I think he's very authentic. He's a guy that all the players believe in. All right, and that's a big thing. He tells you exactly how he feels and exactly how it is. And that's what these kids need. We need the kids to turn into men, and I think he's the guy to do it.
All right, hey, thanks very much, Dwight. Congratulations again to you. Thank you, Chris.
All right, nice job, Coley. Looking forward to seeing Dwight at halftime with the number being put up at the Raptors. Looking sharp in that Hall of Fame jacket. Speaking of looking sharp, Georgia Tech has looked sharp on this drive, putting a stop to what was this vaunted Syracuse offense, unstoppable until that point. And now they're finally forcing a punt from Jack Stonehouse.
Yeah, McCord had completed 10 straight passes going into that little series and 3 straight incompletions.
Stonehouse was over there making a sandwich. Hold on.
Oh!
And blocked punt. They blocked a field goal earlier. Now they get the punt. Hamilton will pick it up at the 41. And Georgia Tech will have outstanding field position with 1:29 left to go in this half. So special teams playing their role in keeping Georgia Tech in it.
And what a job by the special teams group for Georgia Tech. And see him coming right in the middle. Watch these two guys come right off the center and do a great job of getting their hands in the lane of the punter. I'm not sure if it was 41 or 98. But great job, huge momentum changing play by Georgia Tech.
King is going to pitch it. Jamal Haynes picks up 4, maybe even 5. Georgia Tech is going to receive the second half kickoff as well, so this could be a twofer for the Jackets if they can make it work. King to throw, has all kinds of time and has Haynes just at the first down marker. He's going to move the sticks. The Yellow Jackets have 2 timeouts on the board. Singleton. It's about 2 before Justin Barron brings him down. Clock is moving. Tech is taking a lot of time here in the middle of the field. Now Rutherford in motion, stays in the backfield. The fake to Haynes. King gets it out to Rutherford. Nice job defensively coming up to make the stop. Vetting number 8, White, really getting much. That looked like Barry Buxton again making a tackle. 3rd and 6. Georgia Tech is going to call one of their 2 remaining timeouts to talk this one over.
Georgia Tech takes its second timeout of the half.
Coming up, Taylor Tenenbaum and the Huddle crew are at Clemson. They're going to catch you up on the Auto Owners Insurance halftime report. They'll talk about this first half performance by Kyle McCord for sure. The River City rivalry highlight and an NC State game making a statement, the Wolfpack. That's all coming up. The Auto Owners Insurance halftime report. Fran Brown firing up his defense. They need a 3rd down stop here. Georgia Tech not in field goal range. So this is a big play coming out of this timeout.
It is, and I kind of get the feeling that Fran Brown wants to light him up. When Haynes King has been able to stand back in the pocket and deliver the football on time to some of these deep in-breaking routes, he has been very accurate. When they have gotten pressure on him and forced him to make quicker throws, that's when he has struggled. Syracuse not showing pressure right away. Interesting if they walk into it.
Haynes in motion. King will run it. Has a blocker in front of him. Trying to get to the outside. Barron won't let him.
I'll say this right now. That might have been one of the best plays that I've seen Justin Barron make. Not because of his pursuit to the football or the tackle. It's because he realized that his hand was in the horse collar of Haynes King, and he readjusted. Watch him right here, right there. He takes his hand back off the jersey and swipes the legs. He knew right now, hey, I'm gonna get a penalty. Let me let go. That is a smart heads-up play by a captain of this defense, and Justin Barron.
Tech calling their last time out of the half. So it'll set up right now. We're 4th and 4 from the 43-yard line.
Look at that guy. O-line coach. I think he doesn't want to go for it. Every coach wants to go for it. All the fans want to go for it. This is a moment, right, where if you don't get it, that means you had two block kicks in the first half. You've created the only momentum switching plays, and you have not been able to capitalize on them.
See the upcoming slate in ACC games. Aiden Burr's got a leg. He kicked a 60-yarder in the spring game. We were there for that one. But making them routinely from 55 in pregame warmups, but that's still beyond where we are right now.
Yeah. It'd be like a 59-yarder.
Fourth down for Haynes King and the Jackets. Rutherford in motion, and now Fran Brown saw what Georgia Tech wanted to do offensively, called a timeout of his own.
It'll be 30 seconds of like.
If you're just joining us here on the ACC Network, both quarterbacks have had outstanding first halves, Mark. You know, Haynes King is 9 for 12 for 116 yards. He has 2 rushing touchdowns, and yet at the same time, his performance is being overshadowed because McCord has had such a dominant first half.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I think Haynes King has done a lot by himself. Now, he's gotten a lot of protection from his offensive line. They've been phenomenal. It's just the amount of plays, honestly, that Syracuse has been able to be on the field on offense for has not allowed Haynes King to be out there much. That's why it's so important for them to capitalize every single possession, this one especially, as they have the opportunity to double dip from second half score, getting the ball back to start the second half.
Got to convert here on fourth down first. Syracuse brings just 3. Hits a receiver for the first down and more. That was Singleton. Tech wants to spike it. And they do. 6 seconds on the clock. And now Georgia Tech will bring the field goal kicking unit on. The punter, David Shanahan, will hold, and he'll put it down at the 36, so it'll be a 46-yard attempt from Aiden Burr. Misses it. Just wide of the upright. So the block punt doesn't lead the points for the Jackets. And at the break, Syracuse continues to lead by 7. Coley Harvey's on the field, standing by with Fran Brown.
Coach, your third down offense is a big part of the reason why you guys are leading 5 for 8 on third down. What's allowing that to happen?
We got Kyle McCord. Yeah, we got Kyle. We got another coach. So they allowed us to have 11 full-time coaches instead of 10.
When it comes to your defense, Haynes King has rushed for 2 touchdowns today. What needs to happen in the second half on that side?
We just got hitting, man. I told you when we talked earlier, but kids like Vince Young, he's a good player. I mean, he can play football. He's one of the better football players in the country. And when you're going against a guy that's a good football player, he's going to make his plays. Just got to keep hitting him, you know. Just like I told you before, I'm just looking to have one more point than them at the end or vice versa. Let's just play good football. But I like Haynes and Coach Key and them. Those guys are doing a good job, him and Buster and them.
All right, thanks very much, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Coley as well. Syracuse in the Dome in front of a raucous crowd, leading by 7 at the break. Let's send you to Taylor Tenenbaum and the ACC Huddle crew at Clemson. 21-14 our score here at the half, getting set to start this third quarter. Georgia Tech trailing by 7 points to a Syracuse team that at times was dominant offensively, especially in that first half. Mark Hertzler, Chris Cotter with you. McCord was unbelievable. I mean, he had a great start last week against Ohio, but now playing against ACC competition, the 23rd ranked team in the country, he was great from the start. Yeah,
he's been phenomenal. He's over 70% in his completions. He's hitting multiple targets with the football, getting everyone involved, and he's having big plays. The big play differential is really the story of this game. Syracuse has 7 passes over 20 yards in that first half to Georgia Tech's only 1. And he has been able to feed the ball around to Trevor Pena, Arande Gadsden, Zeed Haynes, and the plethora of options that he has been remarkable. On the other side of the ball, Haynes King, we mentioned he only has 1 pass over 20 yards, but he has 2 runs. And this one right here, he does a phenomenal job of breaking a tackle and makes the most out of a broken play. He scores on a 20-plus yard touchdown, and now a 26-yard touchdown run. Again, poor tackling angles, missed tackles by Syracuse have allowed Haynes King to use his athleticism. So really, when you look at the discrepancy, it's just, so many more plays for Kyle McCord. And Haynes King, only 3 incompletions, but at 13 attempts, they're lucky to be only down 7.
Dennebrow's kick sails out of bounds, so Georgia Tech will start with outstanding field position. Coley Harvey's down on the field.
Yeah, guys, I had a chance to speak with Georgia Tech head coach Brent Key at half, and he said, hey, this game is going exactly the way that we thought it would. He knew it was going to be a close game. Asked him about Syracuse quarterback Kyle McCord and limiting him. He's already thrown for 286 yards passing. When I asked Key about McCord, he said, look, we've got to tighten up our coverage on our bleeping receivers. You've got to tighten up those coverage with the cornerbacks. He also said that the tempo is what worked for Georgia Tech there in the first half. He wants to see more tempo, but he also wants to see them have success varying tempos on this drive here.
Haynes King will start the Yellow Jackets off, giving it to Jamal Haynes. Fights for a yard. Georgia Tech running backs in that first half, 11 carries, 20 yards. Other than Haynes King, they haven't been able to get going running the football.
They really haven't, and it's been a credit to the front 7 by Syracuse. We talked about some of the missed tackles coming from the secondary, but the defensive front 7 have been really good so far in this game.
Haynes King over the middle, looked like that ball was tipped. Tried to get it to Boyd. Boyd wasn't able to reach it. Taking a look at that one as King pumped. And then tried to hit his tight end over the middle. Fans here in the Dome on their feet. It's third down.
Yeah, Fidel Diggs, number 10, does a great job of just sitting in that zone. And on third down and long, it's going to force Haynes King again. to drop back and throw the football. Syracuse has not brought pressure on 3rd down and long yet in this game.
Now Boyd's in motion. Syracuse brings just 3. They get it to Boyd on the outside, but he's going to be nowhere near the yardage to gain for the 1st down. Clarence Lewis, the Notre Dame transfer, making the stop. And it's a 3 and out for the Jackets to start this 2nd half.
Syracuse drops back in coverage again, only rushes 3. And coaches talk about vice tackling a football. We have one defender coming from the outside and one coming from the inside. That was a phenomenal job of vice tackling the big tight end on the sideline to force a punt.
Trevor Pena standing by in his own 16 to receive the Shanahan kick, and Shanahan just booms it. That's going to go into the end zone and almost into the student section here at the JMA Wireless Dome. What a 1st half for Kyle McCord. 19 of 26, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. He has been everything Syracuse fans had hoped for and more when he announced last December that he was transferring from Ohio State to Syracuse.
I think it was so great when Coley got Fran Brown on the sideline right before half and said, "Hey, how come you're having so much success?" I said, "What are you talking about? It's Kyle McCord. Our quarterback's Kyle McCord. That's why we're having success." And you know, a lot of faith Fran Brown put in Kyle McCord to lead this team. In the small sampling of just 6 quarters, he's done a great job.
McCord to throw, rolls the pocket to the right. Hatcher on the money, 1st down.
That's another element of Kyle McCord, getting outside the pocket, throwing on the run, changing the rush lanes for the defensive line. Another accurate throw.
McCord has gone over 300 yards with that completion. Not on the season today. Tech brings pressure off the edge. Get it to LeQuinn Allen, but Eford is there to bury him. There'll be no gain on the play.
Good play design by Tyler Santucci, bringing Trinilius Tatum off the edge, and Kyle Eford, he hasn't made the coverage plays in the 1st half. He made a great coverage play there, bringing down LeQuinn Allen in the backfield.
Hatcher again. Tech needed a tackle on the edge, and they got one from Warren Burrell. Transfer from Tennessee has gotten off to a great start this season for Georgia Tech.
Kyle McCord sees the cushion on the outside, and again, it's just a quick now route by Amari Hatcher, and you got to imagine they've done this so many times. There will be a moment where they fake that now route and they send someone deep. As you heard Brent Key say, hey, we need to play tighter coverage. That could open up a deep shot.
3rd down and 6. Allen now back in the backfield with McCord. Tech brings some pressure. Eford can't get there. Pena does. He's right at the gain, right at the yard marker to gain. I think he might be just a bit shy. Had to get to the 45. They're going to mark him at the 44.
Rodney Shelley does a phenomenal job from his safety position, from the nickel position, excuse me, tracking Trevor Pena all the way across the field. You see, he just gets in the trail position and comes downhill, uses that speed.
What do you think of this decision, keeping the offense on the field?
I like this decision. We're going to show toughness as a team. We feel like we can pick up 1 yard.
McCord under center. He's got LeQuint behind him. And now Fran Brown uses a timeout.
Syracuse takes its 1st timeout of the half.
We'll take one as well. Syracuse, first possession of this 2nd half, up 7, facing a 4th down. Ball's on their own 44-yard line, 4th and 1 for Syracuse. Coach Fran Brown called a timeout. We were watching him during the break, Mark. He had a lot of offensive players in the huddle there when they were discussing things with the special teams coordinator, James Villano.
Yeah, and he kind of did a little switch. He was messing with Brent Key's eyes. He brought the offensive lineman over to the bench, huddled up with the punt team. Now he sends his offense back on the field. They're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
Got double tight end stacked on the top of the formation. The end around. Easy first down. Dangerous play here from Zeke Haynes. And he picks up big-time yardage, 11 on the carry before Trinellis Tatum was able to bring him down.
Easy money for Coach Brown. And it just, great play call. Get everyone down in the middle. And there's no edge. There's no edge to this Georgia Tech defense. And Clayton Powell, number 5, is doing everything he can to just run outside. Great pickup.
Into Georgia Tech territory. Allen. Powers his way for 3.
And we were talking during that little break. And it's a gutsy call. You're a first-time head coach. This is your second game, your first time in ACC play on your own side of the field. And you give the green light to go for it on 4th. Gutsy play. You feel like, hey, if we want to win this game, we can get 1 yard. And they did.
They got 11.
They got 11.
Now they're back in business here on Georgia Tech's side of the field once again. Their 6th drive of the day. All 6 of them have ended up in Tech territory. It's actually a really nice job by Trinellis Tatum to get out there and make that tackle to turn only a 7-yard gain. That could have been a 27-yard gain.
Yeah, and you see that kind of cat and mouse game with Jeff Nixon, the offensive coordinator, trying to pick on these linebackers for Georgia Tech. They don't feel like Kyle Eford and Trinellis Tatum are as good of coverage guys as they have in receivers in LaQuinn Allen and Aronde Gadsden. Good tackle there by Tatum.
3rd down and 3. Pressure on the edge. McCord finds a receiver. That's Haynes again. I don't know how he saw 8 out of the corner of his eye, Mark.
It's because he knows the offense. Like, he knows it so well. And you watch him retreat. He knows there's pressure coming. I'm just going to calmly back up and go through my first read, my second read on the corner route. Oh, let's come back and just threw a little sidearm pass to my crosser route for a first down. I mean, we're watching a guy who's, first of all, an experienced quarterback. He knows the playbook like the back of his hand, and he's playing with this composure of the level of an elite quarterback that's going to go to the NFL.
7 for 9 passing on 3rd down. Play fake. That's Haynes, defended beautifully by Burrell.
That was a phenomenal recovery by Warren Burrell, the transfer out of Tennessee. Because he was beat on an inside move. He has great recovery to slice back underneath it and prevent the catch from Zeke Haynes.
McCord was 6 for 6 on this drive. Before that, incompletion. 2nd down and 10.
Oh, this is the fullback in the game.
Double tight ends to the top. Fullback. Allen bounces it outside. Now tries to cut inside. Picks up 4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Something about a fullback in the game that just gets me a little bit excited.
I don't blame
it
you.
just is like old school Syracuse football.
Like a Rob Conrad type. Look at the beef on the right side of that offensive line, too, with the fullback in front of LaQuinn Allen.
I know.
You got Max Bang out there, the German Bear. Malari, the other tight end. Now a 3rd and 6. A long 6. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. McCord looks the other way. Hits his man. Jackson Meeks on the receiving end. The coverage was not bad. It's just the pass was perfect. 1st down.
Can we talk about the guys that Fran Brown got to come here? I mean, Jackson Meeks, Zeke Haynes from Georgia, Kyle McCord from Ohio State. On the other side, you got Fadil Diggs from Texas A&M. I mean, this guy's never been a head coach before. And he related so well with these players. They said, hey, we'll come and play for you, and they are balling.
12th play of this drive started from their own 20. McCord, the play fake. This time couldn't connect with Jackson Meeks. Groans from the crowd here in the Dome, almost like they expect every pass to be a completion.
Kind of how I'm feeling in the booth. He drops back and you're like, oh, it's going to be right where, and that pass really was right where it needed to be.
Jackets went 3 and out to start this second half. Syracuse took over from their own 20. They've yet to relinquish it. McQuinn trying to pick and choose his spots. Got 3. It'll be a huge third down for this Georgia Tech defense, who's got to be gassing right now.
They do. They've been on the field the vast majority of this football game, and the consistent conversions of third downs by Syracuse. Already converting 7 on today is really kept them on the field. It kept them, winded, right? You can't catch your breath, can't get back, and then offensively they've scored on big plays, so they've seen the field a lot. Need to bow up here in the red zone.
To throw. Pumps. Oh, tried to get it to LaQuinn Allen. Just overshot his receiver, and it falls harmlessly for an incomplete pass, but it does bring up 4th down.
And that was really one of the first times we've seen pressure on Kyle McCord. And there's a great job up front. Zeke Bigger's got a push inside, and Kyle McCord had to kind of throw it over the offensive line off his back foot. Great job by Georgia Tech holding Syracuse to only a field goal on that drive, but they have got to go back to that well of getting pressure on Kyle McCord.
Denneberg from 20, 33 rather, when he splits the uprights. The Orange march down the field in their first possession of the second half and put 3 more on the board. They lead by 10. The great Dwight Freeney had his jersey retired at halftime today here at Syracuse. Mark, he was a beast on the edge, so quick.
Oh, he was so good. He got to the quarterback like the best of them. Obviously had a phenomenal NFL career. He was out there wearing his gold jacket from the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
There he is at the half.
With his family.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And there it goes. Up in the rafters. Forever. It's a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, he'll have that 54 to take home with him. Spoke to the fans here in the Dome for a while at halftime. Ovation.
He said this was the loudest place he had ever played. I thought that was pretty impressive.
It's loud today, and it might get louder if Leary can't do anything with this return. He was able to pick it up, still on his feet. He'll be tackled at the 21. Tech fans watching that video montage are like, why you got to show George Godsey getting clobbered like he did? Freeney coming off the edge. More pressing issues for Georgia Tech fans is how do they keep up with this Syracuse juggernaut offensively? You think about in that first half, they had a blocked field goal, had to punt on that ensuing possession. Had the blocked punt, couldn't get any points at the end of that possession. To your point earlier, every possession in this game is goal. What did they do here? Rutherford. Mentioned they want to get the ball in his hands in space, and Deuce Chestnut closes down that space. No gain.
Yeah, give credit to Deuce Chestnut. Missed a tackle on a poor angle earlier in the game. That time he came downhill with a purpose. Because he does a good job of bringing down one of the top targets in Rutherford.
Chestnut was a corner here when he first started, then transferred to LSU, transferred back during the offseason here, wanted to play for Fran Brown, and they moved him to safety. Second down and 10. You can hear the crowd in the Dome getting into it. Leaks in motion. King throws his way. Can he make a man miss? That's why they get the ball in space right there. Out to the 37. Derek McDonald finally tracked him down. Now will Georgia Tech go with a little bit of pace here on offense?
Yeah, I think they will. Hurry up to the line of scrimmage after a big play. Don't let Syracuse get set and hit him with another one.
This time they bring Singleton in motion. Once again, they get it to Malik Rutherford. A whole lot of room to run, though. He gets 4 yards.
Malik Rutherford, so dangerous with the ball in his hands. You see what happens. You put him in space with the star player, Justin Barron. He makes a miss in a huge game.
Syracuse showing a little bit of pressure. They bring 5, but we get a whistle and a flag down.
False start. Offense number 11. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
First penalty against Georgia Tech today. It'll move him back 5 yards. Got Jamal Haynes moving a little bit from the tailback spot. Got up on his toes and just couldn't hang on. Second down and 12 now. King to throw. It's Singleton. Third down and a long 4 for the Jackets. You know this crowd's going to get loud. Pressure up the middle. King gets rid of it. Overshoots his intended receiver Rutherford, and King was dumped in the back end.
Yeah, he certainly was. It was a great twist game up front. It was Fadil Diggs and Derek McDonald who were working on the guard and just did a great job of getting pressure right away. You're going to watch it here. Going to go in and loop through, and both these guys get a push right up the middle, and McDonald gets a big hit on Haynes King as he releases the football.
David Shanahan back to kick. Throw snap. He's able to pick it up. Pena comes up to try and make a return, but it takes a Georgia Tech bounce and roll. And this will end up being a great punt for Shanahan. All the way down to about the 7-8 yard line. 49 on the punt, no return. Syracuse with the ball when we come back. Keep it here on the ACC Network all day long. Coming up next, Charlotte takes the short bus ride up to Chapel Hill to take on North Carolina, 3:30, and then at 8 o'clock our nightcap, Appalachian State taking on Clemson in Death Valley. Find those games in every live event with Where to Watch, only on the ESPN app and ESPN.com. Syracuse has owned time of possession. They've owned the total plays in this game. Yardage just about to tick over 400. And they get the ball back here with 4:06 left to go in this third quarter, and Georgia Tech in desperate need to get this defense off the field. And you saw how long they've been on the field during this game. McCord to throw. Right out of his break. Hits his receiver, Zeke Haynes. Lauren Burrell with good coverage on the play. Just a perfectly thrown ball. Minimal gain on the play, though. It's about a 4-yarder. Now Syracuse moves big old number 77. That's Savion Washington out wide. Look at this formation. Nixon spins free of the initial tackle attempts. Picks up 3. Clayton Powell-Lee brings him down. What's going on?
Yeah, look at all these guys up here. They got a couple quads or bunches out wide. It's just a numbers game. Okay, we see number 11 run out there. Let's hand it off. Really good tackle.
Got to make sure you have the right number of players on the line of scrimmage. Sometimes you see that and the officials are like, "That you were off the line of scrimmage. That's a flag." You really got to pay attention to your formations.
You do.
That's not something you do on a whim. Third down. Tech brings pressure off the edge. McCord sees it. He'll scramble for the first down. And a spike on the end.
Of course, says pocket passer. Who? I can be a dual threat guy. But Georgia Tech brought pressure, and there was no one within 5 yards of Kyle McCord. Wide open running lane. What a conversion by Kyle McCord. And what a job by the big uglies up front for Syracuse.
15 yards, his longest run of the day. And a fresh set of downs for the Orange. Fake to Nixon. He goes out in the pattern. Valari goes down and makes the catch. Not in the NFL yet. So he'll be marked down right there. Gain of 5. Make it 6. Almost 7.
Yeah, he does a little hider play to tight end, hit away. The ball got close to hitting the ground. Good job by Dan Valari of picking it up off the turf. Another wrinkle in their package, getting Dan Valari involved in the pass game.
Valari, former quarterback at Michigan. Had to play the Wildcat quarterback the last 3 games of last season. Now back at his more familiar tight end spot. Nixon back to middle. Another first down for the Orange. Harvey and Seymour came in to make the tackle. Far too often, Mark, I'm calling on secondary members of Georgia Tech making tackles.
I mean, watch this lane right up the middle. I mean, Will Nixon, there is nobody there. And that's you know, it has to be a missed assignment because there's got to be a guy who should be in that gap.
Back under center. Tight end in motion. They hand it to Quinn Allen. Stiff arms the defender. Gets into Georgia Tech territory. Give him 3 yards. Again, it's a cornerback making the tackle in Warren Burrell.
Yeah, you know, that's what Georgia Tech wants to do. They want to bounce the ball from inside out and have their corners to come up and make a tackle. Now, the corners have to make a tackle in those cases, which was a good job there. But, you know, this is something that really plagued Georgia Tech last year. Can they stop the run, especially the inside run they had so far this year, but that last run by Will Nixon, that was scary.
Underneath, and Hamilton was almost there for the pick. Couldn't quite squeeze it though. 3rd and 7 with 13 seconds left in this 3rd quarter.
Man, this feels like a big play for Georgia Tech. If you want to get back in this game and you want to have any sort of field position with the ball back, you got to get a stop here.
Tech brings just 3, so McCord has time. Defended beautifully, though, on the play as Shelley makes another big stop. Knocks it away from Gadsden, and it's 4th down. Joshua Robinson was in on the pressure.
Good job by Rodney Shelley getting his hand in there, but Rondé Gadsden has got to come back to the football. You see him drifting towards the outside. He has got to get friendly to the quarterback and make that catch. That was a well-delivered football. Credit to Rodney Shelley, but that's on Rondé Gadsden for not coming back to his quarterback and making a play on the ball.
Now Shelley back to return this punt. Good high kick. That one checks up at about the 10-yard line, and that's where it'll be marked. That punt will end the 3rd quarter, so Georgia Tech with the ball when we come back to start the 4th. They got to make something happen, though. Trailing by 10 here on the road.
Coach, I just saw you saying mustard seed to your guys. What does that mean for the 4th quarter?
Just for us, anything can grow, anything's possible. That's faith-driven. Just something throughout the Bible that we talked about and went through, and you know, all this is possible because of God. That's why you and me talking right now. So we got to make sure that we always give it back, understand why we're here and why we do this.
All right, thanks very much.
24-10 as we start the 4th quarter. Georgia Tech with the ball, but backed up their own 11-yard line. Rutherford in motion. King gets it out to him. Give him about 4.
Yeah, you heard Coach Fran.
Rutherford's hurt on the play. Yellow Jacket staff quick to check on their receiver. Obviously, Brent is concerned. Wants to take the time to talk to his offense, though. Rutherford Tech's leading receiver coming into this game, and he's had a good game today.
It's a shame to see him down like that.
Take another look at it. Looked like it incurred right on the tackle when he was driven to the turf. That's Barron out there. Don't want to speculate, but that was a hard drive into the turf by number 8 in blue.
And losing him would be massive. A massive loss for this Georgia Tech team. First couple weeks, he has been really their go-to guy as far as receiver. Coming into this game, he had 11 catches for 197 yards and a touchdown. By far their leading receiver.
Caught 7 of 9 targets in this contest too, Mark. And if Tech wants to get back into this game, they need players like that to do things with the ball in space. And obviously they're going to have to rely on players like Chase Lane and Eric Singleton a little bit more. Christian Leary as well. If you're just joining us, Syracuse leading by 10 here. That was the first play of the fourth quarter, and Haynes King's had a good game at quarterback for Georgia Tech, but nothing could surpass Kyle McCord. After passing for 354 and 4 touchdowns last week, he looks like he might eclipse that number this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's been phenomenal in this game, and the reason why Georgia Tech has 14 points has really been 2 blown plays defensively by Syracuse, where Haynes King has used his legs to score. Other than that, Syracuse's defense has had Georgia Tech's number most of this game, and they've been able to keep them out of the red zone completely. Not one snap so far in this game Georgia Tech has had in the opponent's 20-yard line and in.
Rutherford was able to get up and walk off under his own power, so that's good news. Now Carey tries the middle of that Syracuse defense, and Anwar Sparrow shuts it down. Carey with a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
And the run game has not been clicking for Georgia Tech as it has been the first 2 weeks of football. Be interesting to see what they decide to do, if they're going to go right up the middle or not.
King keeps it, spins free, and picks up the 1st down and a lot more. Shard Perry on the tackle, but Haynes King was able to pick up about 8 yards. I'll mark him at the 26.
He had a really good job on just a quarterback counter. You can get it, pullers coming across, and Haynes King just takes it himself. Big game.
4 carries and 58 yards for King. He's got all kinds of time now in the pocket. Shoots it out to a receiver on the far side. And that's Carey, his running back. Fadil Diggs comes all the way out to make the tackle. Diggs is active, man. He can run.
He sure is.
Pass rushing end going out there to make a tackle on a running back on the sideline.
And he's playing this off-the-ball linebacker at times. You see him here, right in the middle of the field, number 10. He's coming from anywhere.
2nd and 7. King to throw, trying to go over the top, and overshoots his receiver Chase Lane.
See Haynes King yelling at his wide receiver.
What, did he want him to sit in the zone there, maybe?
I'm not sure exactly what the adjustment was, but there was an adjustment that Chase Lane didn't see and Haynes King did. They've got to be on the same page here. A 3rd and long.
King to throw again. Syracuse brings just 3, so he has time. Does he have enough for the 1st down? Hits a tight end, and he's going to come up a little bit shy. That was Jackson Hawes on the receiving end. He's about a yard shy, and Georgia Tech keeping the offense on, and they want to go quickly. Carey stopped in the backfield. Guess who? Fadil Diggs.
Fadil Diggs absolutely destroys the left guard, Joe Fusel. He puts him back on his rear end, calls him son, and makes a tackle for loss. Watch this right here. Watch what he does to number 67. Sit down. Let me get some of that ball carrier.
Well, we talked a lot in the open, Mark, about how Georgia Tech coming into this game was really improved in the trenches, and it's been Syracuse. They've owned the trenches in this contest, and they showed it right there on that play. Now, Nixon and company, they want to burn some clock. Coley, what's going on?
Hey guys, I talked with Syracuse defensive end Fadil Diggs earlier this week about that physical toughness, and he said that this defense needed to play that way against Georgia Tech this week. In fact, Diggs said, we want to be the hammer and not the nail. We need to impose our will on these guys because they like to run the ball. Diggs believes that that physicality and, in his words, violence is what can really help to stop this Georgia Tech rushing offense.
Tech with just 79 yards rushing on the day, 58 of them on just 4 carries from Haynes King. The court continues to be on target, hitting Jackson Meeks. Another first down.
And you know that word violence, right? People shy away from that now. Like, this is a violent game. Like, every play when you're on the defensive side of the ball or offensive side, you want to go out there and you want to hurt another player. You don't want to injure them. You don't want to have them car off the field, but you want to make them feel you. And that's exactly what Fadil Diggs in that play.
The court overshoots Trevor Pena. The rare misfires from McCord on the day. He was just 3 yards shy of a career passing day. Record Mark he set last week. His 354-yard and 4-touchdown performance in their opener.
It's 2 pretty good weeks for Kyle McCord.
You're dancing around 350 every game, and you've got 7 touchdown passes and 1 pick on the year. So it's a good start.
Yeah, not bad.
Here's Allen. Cuts it back inside. Picks up about 8. Tatum on the stop, but Syracuse has just been wearing down this Georgia Tech defense.
Georgia Tech, right? They're ranked for the first time, and I don't know when.
It's 2015.
2015. I knew you'd know. And they come out here, and there's expectation, right? And Coach Key talked. Look, when we win, different stuff comes along with that. How are you going to handle those expectations? So far in this game, they have been outmatched by Syracuse.
To give to Allen. That's a leap over defender. That's enough for a first down. First and goal for the Orange.
It's a pretty athletic play by a pretty athletic running back. Not only did they bring in Kyle McCord, we talked about the weapons that they brought in, but keeping that man right there in Syracuse with a coaching change, that was huge. To have a running back that you know you can count on running the football in between the tackles and can get out as a receiver.
Now McCord sprints wide to the top of the screen. Whistle blows. They didn't get the play off in time.
Before the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
One of the few things that hasn't gone right for Syracuse offensively today.
Little wrinkle.
Well, we've seen a lot of wrinkles today from them offensively.
And you know, when you feel like you're in control of the game, and when you feel like, oh, we can convert on 2nd and 8, you know, that can turn into a first down. It allows you to do more of these wrinkles, and it puts a lot of stuff on film for the next team that plays you and the next team that plays you. It wastes practice times on things you might not see again.
Pena almost cut down in the backfield, but he keeps his footing. Finally, was able to be tackled by Saeed Gibbs. It's almost like Haynes King's touchdown in the first half. Trinellis Tatum almost had him down, but
I mean, it looked like a pretty good tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, he shot his legs, he wrapped him up. Unbelievable job by Trevor Pena just to get that hand down.
Saeed Gibbs made sure he wasn't able to get anything more out of it, so Syracuse is backed up a little bit. First the penalty, now the TFL. Second down and goal, but they're already back on the 17. McCord to throw. Has a pocket, has a receiver. Touchdown. You mentioned LaQuinn Allen, Mark. They're pretty happy he stayed, and they're pretty happy this young man stayed as well.
Rondé Gadsden got a Liz Frank injury game 2 of last year. In 2022, he was the top target for Syracuse, one of the best tight ends in the nation. And he has come back with a vengeance this year. Four defenders around him. And with that height and length, Kyle McCord still able to deliver the football to him. And great job outstretching to get a touchdown.
Denneberg, the PAT. Tacks on another one. First it was defensively, Mark. The 4th down stop for this Orange defense. That led to the drive for points.
And it started with toughness with Fadil Diggs. Went to a little bit finesse on the outside, and then back to your big man for the big score, putting Syracuse up big.
An impressive afternoon for the Syracuse Orange. They lead 31-14 with 8:39 remaining. You see the yardage totals. And another massive game, 368 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no picks for Kyle McCord. Career high.
He's been so good. I mean, he really has. And I'm sitting up here like, Syracuse is good. This is a good football team that we are watching out here. I mean, you look for, okay, where are the big holes? You don't see them. The first week is, okay, you can't stop the run. And then they went back to work. They got so much better between week 1 and week 2. They are shutting down a running attack, holding Georgia Tech under 80 yards rushing.
Haynes now through the air. As a receiver, Bailey Stockton picks up what he can on the outside before being chased out of bounds by Justin Barron. It's going to be about 5. Tech wants to move quickly. They need to move quickly. King has some pressure, gets it out to Jamal Haynes. He's got to skip his way right at the marker to gain. It's going to be a first down. King again to throw. Pickup of about 8. Coley, what's up?
Hey guys, we saw right receiver Malik Rutherford leave the field during Georgia Tech's last drive. He was being evaluated by athletic trainers on the field and on the sidelines to his left rib cage area. Every time they touched it, he winced in obvious pain. He is currently in the locker room, and that is what I have to report right now.
Big appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate it, Coley. Not great news for Georgia Tech. Either for the rest of this game and moving forward.
It's been Bailey Stockton who's replaced him, the 5'11" redshirt freshman out of Georgia.
King now has some time. Rolls the pocket. Goes into all kinds of traffic. Incomplete. Clarence Lewis defending on the play. He's trying to get it to his big tight end, former receiver Avery Boyd.
Syracuse, they're only rushing 3 defenders right now, and they're having a spy kind of float and melt over top of Haynes King in case he does decide to pull the ball down and run. And there's just no separation by these wide receivers being able to find holes in the zone. And that's really the game plan that Syracuse has right now, again, with 3 guys with their hands in the dirt.
Singleton in motion. King. Carry up the middle. Maybe one.
Great play by Derek McDonald, the linebacker, getting a big stop. Setting up a third down. Got to find your top targets. Eric Singleton or Chase Lane, where are you?
Again, Syracuse brings just 3. King finds a tight end. He's going to be shy, though, and a flag late, though. Jackson Hawes made the catch. Clarence Lewis was in on the tackle. As his officiating crew talks it over. We'll wait. A wait word from Mike Roach.
Going on the field is a completed catch. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, a late hit on the defense. 59 penalty, automatic, first down.
I had a feeling this crowd wasn't going to like that.
Now watch Clarence Lewis, number 3. He comes down at the end, and it does look like Jackson Hawes' foot is already out of bounds right there. And the extra shove, you know, the big 6'6", 250-pound tight end, he'll be okay, but that was a big penalty.
First down for Haynes King. Tried to hit his big receiver. First time we've seen Leo Blackburn today, but overthrows him.
Leo Blackburn. I saw him in warm-ups.
He's a good-looking athlete.
Like, what does that guy play? Like, what position is that guy? And when he went out and split out as a wide receiver, I said, red zone threat, 6'5", 220 pounds. Here we go.
We need it now. King maybe wasn't expecting the snap. Got a flag down. Pass is complete. Jenna on the play. Let's check the flag, though. That play was discombobulated from the start.
Yeah.
Illegal shift on the offense. Both plays began to move and were not fully set. It's a 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's almost like the center, Weston Franklin, was the only one who was ready to snap that ball.
Yeah, look, Haynes King's not even looking. Good reaction by Haynes King.
And to complete the pass afterward. Timing wasn't thrown off. 5-yard flag, though, second down and 15. We get another flag. Tech's going the wrong direction here. This crowd senses blood in the water right now.
Ball start. Offense, number 94. 5-yard penalty, second down.
If I'm Elijah Robinson, I've been sending 3 guys and sitting back in zone coverage. If I'm defensive coordinator Elijah Robinson, I am sending pressure right now. This offensive line is a little bit skittish. You had 2 penalties in a row. Man, I want to heat him up.
Brings just 3. King. That is a nice pass and catch. Boyd on the receiving end. That ball was placed perfectly.
Yeah, great throw. He had all the time in the world to make that throw, but unbelievable catch by Avery Boyd.
And they're going to look at this one to see, make sure he got that foot down. You only have to get one in the college game. Let's see if Boyd got a foot in. We'll take a break while our replay official, John Bush, takes a look at it. We'll let you know what he finds when we come back. After further review, it was ruled that the ruling on the field, a catch, stands. And this right here is where Boyd, that foot counts. That's the one that was in the field of play when he made the catch. Take a look at it. That left foot there, still on the field when he makes the catch. The ruling was it was on the green.
Yeah, and even though that was a catch, we still have huge 3rd down and 6 that Haynes King needs to pick up. Biggest play of the game so far for this Georgia Tech offense.
King to throw, has time, has a receiver. Boyd still on his feet inside the 10, dragging tacklers down to the 5. Boyd's kind of a problem. He's a former receiver who converted to tight end when they had some injuries, and he's tough to handle on the outside.
He is. He does a great job of getting open.
Send out on the field for an injured player.
Got an injured Syracuse Orange on the field. We'll update you on the player's condition when we come back. Georgia Tech down. Georgia Tech in the red zone for the first time today as we see injured Syracuse linebacker Marlowe Wax.
Yeah, and this is where he would have been. He should have moved over a little bit faster. Derek McDonald's in his place, doesn't make it to the tight end on time. Sets up 1st and goal for Haynes King.
Fake to Haynes. King will run it himself. Picks up maybe a yard at best. Tech down 3 scores. They got to score, but they also have to score in a hurry. Jamal Haynes in motion. Haynes King will look to throw. To the corner of the end zone. Touchdown.
Wow.
Chase Lane got a foot down.
What a throw.
His first touchdown catch of the year, the first touchdown pass of the day for Haynes King.
That was their first drive inside the red zone all day, and Chase Lane comes back across the end line. Does a good job of tiptoeing his foot. Let's see. That's close.
Yep. Official right down the line. Signaled for the touchdown. And certainly didn't see anything on that video to overturn that call on the field. They do look at every play, so they're looking at this one right now before they kick the PAT. It's almost like Dwight Clark's catch. 49ers back in the day. Burr with the PAT, and he hits it, so Tech now down 10. What are you doing here? You onside kicking?
Georgia Tech has all 3 timeouts, so I'm going to kick the ball deep.
Okay.
We know we have to obviously get 2 scores, get 2 opportunities with the football, so regardless of what we do, we are going to have to stop the team at 3 and out, or at least after 2 series. So with 5 minutes left, if you can get a team to go 3 and out, use 3 of your timeouts, get the ball back, then you drive down and you take what you can get, right? If you get in field goal range on 4th down, you don't go for it on 4th and 3, you kick the field goal. And then you know, okay, we got to get an onside kick and put it in the end zone.
First thing for Brent Key and company is stopping Syracuse, something they haven't been able to do all day. 479 yards of total offense for the Orange coming into this drive.
And it does look like they might be lining up the way they're positioned.
Yep.
For an onside kick attempt.
It is Aiden Burr who will kick it for the Jackets.
Syracuse got a lot of guys over here. The way the ball is set up, they're obviously going to be kicking it over to the far hash.
They do attempt it. Got to go 10 yards, bounces around a little bit, unless it hits a player in orange and blue. It didn't go 10 yards, but did it hit a Syracuse player? If it did, Georgia Tech could fall on it and gain possession. Looks like it did.
I haven't seen a signal from an official yet.
Receiving team recovered by the kicking team. It'll be Georgia Tech football, first down.
Wow.
That's exactly what happened. It didn't go 10, but a Syracuse player touched it before it went 10. Then it's a live ball.
I mean, how about this special teams unit for Georgia Tech? You block a field goal, you block a punt, you recover an onside kick. I mean, they are doing the little things correct. And let's watch this. It looks like Eford, the linebacker, runs over Dan Villari, and Dan Villari might have been the Syracuse Orange player who touched the football. Or no, it could have been Fadil Diggs, number 10. You see number 10, Fadil Diggs. Looks like the ball dies after hitting his leg. I mean, that play was more physical by Georgia Tech.
Look who fell on the ball, 9 in white. Avery Boyd.
I mean, what a fourth
All over
quarter
the
for
place.
Avery Boyd. And how about that?
Yeah, you can't get a great look at it, but I think you're right. I think it went through Villari and hit Diggs right there. And then Boyd fell on it, so Georgia Tech not done yet.
I mean, that's a huge play. I mean, that's a huge play. Brent Key saying, look, this is it right now. If we're going to go and kick an onside kick, we have got to get it to have a chance. Well, they got it. Now what can Haynes King do? You're down your top receiver in Malik Rutherford. Who do you go with to the football?
Has all kinds of time. Now he just throws it away. Didn't have a receiver open. So this is something we've seen all game long, Mark. Syracuse rushes 3. Haynes King has time, but the coverage on the back end is so good, he doesn't have a whole lot of places to go with it.
Yeah, and they're playing a zone coverage over top. And they're doing, you know, a drop 8, and Fadil Diggs is the guy who's kind of poaching right over the middle, reading the quarterback's eyes.
Again, they bring 3. King looking for a receiver, has Stockton, makes the catch, and hangs on and move the sticks. Buxton on the tackle. Good to see Buxton back in there. He was shaken up a few plays ago.
Yeah, that time they high load Fadil Diggs. They knew that, hey, this defensive end's dropping. Let's get his eyes to cheat. Good completion.
King again, all kinds of time. It's Jamal Haynes out of the backfield. He picks up a first down.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're saying, look, we have a guy who's not doing what he's best at. Fadil Diggs is best at rushing the passer. If he's going to be dropping over the middle, Haynes King is just going to manipulate him with the running back and the guy in behind him.
King. Singleton on the catch. Stays in bounds, so the clock will continue to run as it would anyways, down to 2 minutes.
Just feel like at some point you got to change it up. You got to bring pressure.
Look at Diggs. Here he comes. Now they're bringing pressure. Haynes with a great catch. Right at the marker. Might be a little shy. Haynes King got absolutely drilled on that play, too, with the pressure.
And his helmet came off, so he has to come off the field for a play. Watch Fadil Diggs. Nice swim move up the middle. And that helmet comes off. Zach Pyron, number 5, the backup's in the game right now.
On 3rd and 1.
Zach Pyron's more of their running quarterback. They've brought him in at 6'3", 220 pounds to run the quarterback power. It'll be interesting to see if that's what they decide to do right now, as timeouts are so precious.
And they empty out the backfield. Carry in motion. Will fake it to him. Pyron carries it himself and picks up the first down.
That's exactly what they do. Zach Pyron, he's been that short yardage quarterback for them, so why change it all the way up? And Georgia Tech, who could have called a timeout, potentially got Haynes King back on the field, needed to save those timeouts as they need to get the ball back again.
King to pass. Going to the end zone. Diving attempt, incomplete. Singleton. Good coverage from Clarence Lewis. King's going to run it. Has blockers in front of him. Down to the 15. He's also going to be a little bit shy, so it'll be 3rd and 1. Crowd on its feet here in the Dome. Haynes to the end zone. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
They've been talking with Jamal Haynes all week about keeping the ball up inside. Watch Jamal Haynes come right off the down blocks of the 2 big tight ends. He thinks about bouncing it, but no, he keeps it up in the middle for a huge gain, giving his team a chance in this football game.
Burr nails the PAT. It is a 3-point game with 2:31 left to go. And Tech with all 3 timeouts on the board. Women's sports take over Sunday afternoons on the ACC Network. Tomorrow at noon Eastern, field hockey. Ohio State at Syracuse. The Orange ranked 10th in the country. That game is played at Coyne Field. It's just a couple of miles down the road, followed by soccer. Marquette at number 9, Notre Dame. Find those games in every live event with Where to Watch, only on the ESPN app and ESPN.com.
Man.
The onside kick it here, though. You got 3 timeouts, but I think you have to, don't you?
I feel like you don't. You got the 2-minute timeout.
0, the receiving
plus
team
your
is down
3
number
timeouts.
91.
So I think you kick this one deep. I mean, do you really expect to get? I mean, I don't know. You know, like as a
Percentage of you getting
you blocked a kick, you blocked a punt, you recovered an onside kick. Do you think you can recover another onside kick?
Their special teams have been special today. Look what they've done.
I know, and I mean, we'll be able to see Syracuse is lined up to defend against the onside kick. And the way the ball is being placed, that is not how it was placed last time. This looks like a deep kick from Aiden Burr.
Brent Key going through all the maturations in his head, opting to, it looks like, kick it away and rely on your defense.
You have essentially 4 timeouts with the 2-minute timeout, but you got to get a 3 and out.
And Burr does kick it deep, and it'll just go out of the back of the end zone. Things were looking great for Syracuse early on in this quarter, Mark, to start the 4th quarter. They got a 4th down stop in Georgia Tech territory, and they converted.
Yeah, big play by Fidel Diggs. And it sets up this long touchdown pass to Arande Gadsden. And then Georgia Tech, they came back and they scored a touchdown. Then they kicked the onside kick and recover it and drive down the field. And Jamal Haynes scores a rushing touchdown. I mean, it has been a wild 4th quarter. And it all comes down to this drive. Can Kyle McCord lead his team down the field once again and preserve this victory?
And he's going to throw. Of course he is on 1st down. Now dangerously in the middle, bobbled by LaQuint Allen, and he's able to pull it in. My goodness.
Kyle Eifert read that play beautifully. I mean, the air has left the building. I mean, everyone with this deep exhale. I mean, that ball floats up there. And Eifert almost cracks it away.
Goodness. And now we get it.
That's a 2-minute timeout.
The 2-minute timeout, as everyone can now take and regain their breath in this building. That ball was just there, floating around, and Eifert couldn't squeeze it. LaQuint did. And it's a positive that LaQuint caught it, because it was able to run the clock all the way down to the 2-minute timeout. 2nd and 10. Tech's got to get the ball back when we come back. At one point in this 4th quarter, Syracuse had a 17-point lead. They now lead by 3 coming out of the 2-minute timeout. Tech has 3 timeouts on the board. 2nd and 10 for McCord. Almost intercepted, and it was caught off the deflection. There's a flag in the backfield. It was dropped by Haynes. He almost caught the deflection. Burrell, if he'd have turned around, he might have had a pick. Now let's check the marker. Personal foul against Syracuse. That'll move him back.
Personal foul, illegal chop block, offense, number 1 and number 74. That penalty's declined. Defense will take the result of the play, 3rd down.
So they'll decline the penalty. It's 3rd and 10 with the clock stopped at 1:55.
Man. How big?
And a reminder, Tech still has 3 timeouts. Sorry, Mark.
No, just how big is this play right here? And
It's the play of the game. Both teams need to convert here. Fran Brown knows it. McCord to throw. Tech has pressure. Gadsden makes the catch, of course. McCord knows he's going to go to his big tight end. The coverage from Omar Daniels wasn't bad. Gadsden's just too big and physical.
Omar Daniels got both hands on the chest plate of Aronde Gadsden, and Aronde Gadsden just throws him off and separates. What a play by Aronde Gadsden.
So now the Syracuse team can really start to work on the clock. Tech's going to have to burn those 3 timeouts in succession. Allen, look at the pile being pushed. He gets forward. Tech's going to have to use that first timeout. Let's not forget,
Georgia Tech takes its first time out of the half.
Georgia Tech was in a very similar situation last year at Miami. They forced the fumble, recovered the fumble, and then a play that will live in Georgia Tech lore had Haynes King finding Christian Leary for the game-winning touchdown. But Tech needs a similar miracle here with 1:14 remaining.
And the difference is that Miami could have just taken a knee and run the clock out. Syracuse has to run plays here because with Georgia Tech preserving those timeouts, and really the clock management from Brett Key has been really good. You know, not taking a timeout to substitute in Haynes King after his helmet fell off. I mean, all these things lead up into this moment, giving your defense a chance.
You see Georgia Tech's schedule is brutal from here on out. And for Syracuse, not that they have an easy road, but certainly you could look at their schedule and think if they can hold on here and win today, 5-0 before a trip at NC State. Certainly plays itself out that way. Allen trying to bounce it outside, still on his feet. He'll pick up the first down and more. Now he'll just slide down, and that should do it. $24 more for LaQuint Allen, and now the fans here at JMA can feel it. Thomas Gore shaken up on the play. Big D tackle for the Yellow Jackets. Transfer in from Miami.
Georgia Tech made this one interesting. They sure did, but watch at the end of this play. LaQuint Allen breaking tackles, picking up a first down, and they had him. They had him in the backfield. Zeke Biggers was there, had his hands around LaQuint Allen, and LaQuint Allen shows his toughness and his strain that Fran Brown has been talking about. Fran Brown mentioned earlier, he talked about the faith the size of a mustard seed. That's from Matthew. They say faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. He said anything is possible for this group of men, and he wears his faith on his sleeve, and his players have bought in to that moniker that anything is possible.
And the new look orange go over 500 yards of total offense for the first time in a league game. since they did it against Virginia Tech back in 2021. It is a new day here in Syracuse in many ways. And the Fran Brown era began last week with a non-conference win here at home against Ohio. Certainly is a month of firsts for that man and his staff, and now they'll pick up their first ACC win in 1 minute and 5 seconds. Fran Brown wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he never stops coaching, Mark. We saw it all day today.
It started when they were in the suits that they got out here. He checked them. He said, what are you going to show me? Because you haven't shown anyone anything yet. What are you going to show me? He was coaching. He was talking to Ghost. He was he was out there on the field. And what he told his players, look, when we win, we can celebrate. We can get excited. But while the game is playing, you need to lock in and you need to focus. Fran Brown has been the epitome of that through this game.
Georgia Tech calling their final timeout after that snap. So on second down, McCord will once again take a knee. A career day for the transfer from Ohio State. 32 of 46, 381 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns and 0 picks. He has over 700 yards passing in 2 games, 8 touchdowns against just 1 interception.
And this was against a ranked Georgia Tech team.
And for Brent Key and the Yellow Jackets, they'll entertain VMI on the 14th before getting back into league play at Louisville on the 21st. The embrace for his son, Fran Brown, 2-0 in his young career as head coach here with the Syracuse Orange. A lot of respect for Brent Key. Mutual admiration between these two coaches. Tech came back in the 4th quarter to make it interesting. Syracuse hung on. An impressive win. Coley Harvey standing by with the QB.
Kyle, a 400-yard passing day for you, another 4 touchdowns. Why are you so comfortable in this offense?
The people around me, the coaches believe in me, they trust in me, and I'm playing alongside a great team. So it's all the people around me. I'm just a product of it.
You're usually so cool, calm, and collected. We saw you throw the football into the stands there at the end of the game, had the big spike earlier after that first down run. What allowed the emotion to come out today?
It means a lot. It means a lot. I mean, all offseason, we've been hearing about how we aren't good enough for games like this. So to step up and get a big-time win against a really good team means the world.
Speaking of getting a win against a big-time team, ranked team, you guys are now 2-0. What is this program building?
I mean, it's special. What Coach Fran has done in the last 8-9 months, it's unheard of. And, you know, I know all the guys in that locker room love playing for him, and so do I.
Yeah. Thanks very much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
It's actually a couple of weeks from Friday. They'll have a Friday night game against Stanford next, Mark, but I think they've served notice to the rest of the league. They're for real. No,
they are, and they look good on offense. They fixed some things that they did wrong last week on defense. This is a good team Fran Brown's got going, and they could go on a roll.
They're rolling right now. For Mark Kirchlick and Coley Harvey, I'm Chris Cotter saying so long from Syracuse, New York. Now, let's send you to Taylor Tenenbaum and the ACC Huddle crew at Clemson.